Hello, I'm Meg, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up and optimize a Google My Business listing. Now, Google My Business is excellent for boosting the SEO on your website. SEO meaning search engine optimization. So what that means is basically when somebody searches for your offer on Google, you want to make sure that your website pops up as one of the top results. And in order to do that, you need to optimize your website for ultimate search engine friendliness. Search engine optimization, SEO. I go a little bit more in depth on the definition in my blog post, which I will link below. So as more than 70% of daily searches happen on Google, Google is the place to be. You definitely want to make sure that your website and Google are BFFs, and one of the best ways to do that is by creating a Google My Business profile. So when somebody searches for your business, let's say you search for Miss Megabug, what's going to happen on the desktop view is you'll see the search results on the left side, and then on the right side, you'll see a box which includes information about my business, buttons that you can get directions, call me, visit my website, as well as a few photos and even some posts. On mobile view, it's even more in your face. It pops up at the very top of your screen. I'll show you how that looks on the front end later on in this video. Let's get started. Okay, so to start, you're going to go to your internet browser of choice. I highly recommend Google Chrome. And then you're going to go to google.com, and in the search bar here, you're going to search for Google My Business. Mine auto-populates, so I'm going to take a shortcut and click right here. Now, sometimes this will end up being the first or second listing, depends on if the Google ad pops up. But basically, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for the line that says Google My Business, drive customer engagement on Google. So you're going to click right there. And you'll notice that even if you have a Google or Gmail account that's logged in, Google My Business doesn't automatically log you in. So we are going to click this blue sign in button in the upper right. And here we are. So you don't technically have to create a Google My Business account. It automatically comes when you have a Google account. So if you don't have a Gmail or a Google account, you'll have to create one. So I'm going to pretend like you already did, and we're going to keep on going. One thing to note is if you have numerous Google accounts, this is going to automatically sign you in as your default account. My default account always ends up being my personal email, and you want to make sure that you're using the correct account that you'll want to claim your Google listing. So you'll notice that even though we're in my personal account, I already have some Google listings. The reason why is because I want to make sure that my listings are associated with a few different accounts just in case my main one ends up being deactivated or something happens to it. So I will show you how to do that, how to add numerous users later on in this tutorial. But for the sake of what we're doing, I'm going to switch to my business account. And you can see that a couple of the same Google My Business listings are also associated with this account. This is the main account that I use to create Miss Megabug, at least. So when we cover how to optimize your listing, we'll be working with my Miss Megabug account. However, I want you to see the process of what it's like to create a Google My Business listing. So I'm going to set up a dummy account. And this is the process of how to create your own Google My Business listing, so all of the steps are accurate. You're going to head on over to this blue Add Location button, and you're going to add a single location. So you'll type in the name of your business. And if your business has been around for a while, it may already have a Google My Business listing. Sometimes Google automatically creates them. So if your business comes up, then you would just click it and you save a few steps. You don't have to type in all of your contact information. But if you are creating a listing from scratch like I'm doing right now, you'll click this blue Add Your Business to Google. And again, you have to type in your business name. Then click the next. And this will be your primary business category. However, you can add numerous categories later on. So just pick the one that works the best. So here, Google wants to know your address, whether you use your address for a business or not. And if you don't have a business address, like for example, let's say that your business is located at home and you don't want people knocking on your door, Google will not make that address public. So in that case, you would click no. And on the next screen, you would type in your personal address. But remember, don't panic. It's not going to be public. I do have a business address, so I'm going to click yes. And I'm going to type in my address. I have autofill, so again, I'm going to take a shortcut. And then click next. And again, Google wants to make sure that I'm not creating a duplicate listing, so that's why this comes up. However, because I want to show you the full process, I'm going to click this doesn't match. And then next, and after, I'm just going to delete this listing because I don't want people Googling me and seeing, what does Miss Megabug test? Like, what is that? Okay, so this question basically asks if you serve customers outside of your business address. So for example, when I was offering photography, I offered photo shoots at my studio and on location. So if that were the case still, I'd click on yes, I serve them outside of my location. If you don't, like let's say that you are a brick and mortar store or you are a service provider like a hairstylist, you would select no, I don't. Now, even if you sell products online, you still want to click no, I don't, because online is not considered a physical location. So for the purpose of this, I'm just going to click on yes, I also serve them outside my location to show you what that next screen looks like. It's pretty cool. You can add the regions that you serve. So you could type in here and you can add that in, or there are also suggested service areas down below. So you can just type in, you can add basically as many as you'd like. I'm just gonna call that good. So whenever you add any of this contact information, it is made public. Personally, I don't like getting phone calls. I'd rather people email me, so I usually don't put in my contact phone number, although there it is, auto flood. So I do always put in my website though, because that's the main reason why you're creating this Google My Business listing anyway. You want people to be able to find your website, build your SEO, all of that jazz. So please put your website in here. That's number one. You'll click next. So basically you just click finish. That kind of tells you what Google My Business is all about, which I will show you. We're going to wait patiently for a few moments while it processes. And this is the final screen. So Google does want to make sure that your business is legit. So it will mail you a physical postcard. And while that sounds like it is quite a process and kind of useless, it comes pretty quickly. It says may take up to 5 days to arrive, which that's actually really fast for snail mail. I've had mine come within 3 days. It's super quick. So that postcard will come to the address that you entered in a few screens ago. If you are in a big building that has a few different businesses, or let's say that you work for a larger business and you want to make sure that postcard comes to you, you would type in your contact name right here. And then you would click mail. I don't want this listing to be made legit because I already have a listing, so I'm not going to go through this step. But basically what's going to happen is you'll want to pause here if you don't already have your account created, because even though you can technically edit your Google My Business listing right now, it usually doesn't save and things end up getting a little bit convoluted. So it's best to just wait until you verify your listing with that postcard. So that postcard is going to have, I believe it's a 5-digit code on it. And when you get when you get that postcard, I'm going to show you where to input that code. So you'll put in that code, your listing will be verified, and then you are good to go. So again, don't edit your listing until it is verified. So I went on back to my dashboard for my Google My Business under my business email account. And you'll notice here that there's the listing that I just created. It was still created even though I didn't have that postcard sent. And this is exactly what you'll see. So you'll see your listing. you'll see verification required, and you would click the blue verify now button. Now I can't show you that because I didn't have the postcard sent, but it's super simple. You'll click verify now, you'll be brought to a new window, and Google will prompt you to enter in that 5-digit code from your postcard. And once you do that, you will be automatically sent to your listing. So let's head on over there right now. This is the dashboard for your new Google My Business listing. I know it seems totally overwhelming, but mainly you're going to be playing around in this info tab right here. And everything that's on here is associated with the stuff on the left here. So recently, Google My Business expanded and it added a few new features which are super cool. So we're just going to start from the top and work our way down. So anything that has a pencil means that it can be edited. So this is your business name if you ever change your business in the future. These are your categories or business categories. So if you recall, I entered in one, I think it was marketing agency or something. So that would be your primary category, and you can change that. And you can also add as many additional categories as you want. Just note that you are limited to the categories that Google already has created. And if you, skipped a couple of steps. Oh, also too, anytime that you edit anything, even if you didn't make changes and you saved, Google always reviews everything just to make sure that it's legit. It usually takes 24 hours for any changes to take effect. Sometimes it can be a lot quicker, but don't panic when it says under review. No worries. This is where you can edit your address, and remember those service areas that we talked about? That's where you do that. And if you have hours, that's where you would input your hours and your phone number, which I'm kind of debating whether I want to pull that or not. Your short name, this is a new feature. This is basically like your account name. So like on Instagram, I'm at Miss Megabug, and on Facebook, I'm facebook.com/ can't talk and spell at the same time. Facebook.com/Miss Megabug. So basically that's the same thing. Always make it the same. So I didn't do Miss-Megabug because I want the consistency. I want it to be the same for all of my accounts. Your website's here. And appointment links, this is awesome. Let's say that you have an online scheduler for appointments, or if you don't do that, if you're a business like me and you just want people to contact you, you can link to your contact page, which is pretty snazzy. Services and products, these are new features which are fantastic. So if you click on, and I need to edit mine, so don't judge, I haven't gotten around to it. Under services, I had my photography input here. So basically what you would do is you would add a section, and this is kind of what the sections look like. So I have my business photography services here and my lifestyle photography services here. So you can have as many sections as you want. You would add the section name and then the item name, which is this, and then the description, which is this, and the price, which is obviously this. And I'm just going to add a test one. You don't need to add a price too, just to let you know. And you would click add, and then you can add even more items. I'm just gonna, you can move it around too, just to let you know. Move to top or move up. I'm just gonna delete that section. So you'll notice that we were brought away from that main info tab. We were brought down here to the services tab. If you want to go back, just click on info. Under products, I have my online classes listed. So you can see them here. It works just like the services tab does. When I created these, I forgot I was in the products tab, so I actually need to move websites over to services because they're more of a service than a product. But basically, you can have things in both, which is pretty great. So I'm going to head on back to info. Highlights isn't a big deal. I just figure if you have the option to do something, take advantage of it. So Google automatically floods in different highlights. Clearly there aren't that many, so if any of these apply to you, just click it. You never know, might help out. And this is the main description for your listing. I recommend pulling this from the main description on your website. So basically it's in the SEO, like the main SEO section for your website, just to make sure everything's consistent. You want to be sure that your description includes your keywords. So for me, I want to make sure that it includes things like website design and online classes, and it looks like I need to update this. So it's always a good thing to bounce into the back end of your social media accounts every so often, because like me, you'll notice that, oh my goodness, I forgot to update that. There's so many things that you need to update that sometimes you just forget. So basically, on this description, you want it to make sense, you want it to entice people, and you want it to include your keywords, which are basically your services, your products, what you do. So that goes right here. And then here you can add an open date if you'd like, and you can also add photos. So we are gonna go do that down here though. So I don't recommend adding photos there. I recommend adding photos here. And I'll show you why. Because you can determine what your cover photo is, what your logo is, that kind of thing. Now, all of these photos I didn't manually add in this section. They flooded in from my products. So all of these photos flooded in. So that's pretty convenient. So I like that. Now, remember earlier I mentioned how I like to have a few different people have access to my Google My Business listing just in case something happens to my email. This is where you do that. So you'll see this is my business account. I'm considered the primary owner. And then my other account, my personal account, is considered an owner. So if you want to add somebody, whether it's somebody on your team, your spouse, your mom, whoever, you can invite new users and you would enter in their email address. Come on. And you would choose a role. So owner means they have full access. Manager is a little like a step below, and I don't quite know what site manager means, but basically I would recommend adding people as owners or managers. Always have at least one other person be the owner though. So down here, there are a few other features that we're not going to get too into. Create an ad. This is if you wanted to create an ad with Google. If you wanted to add a new location, this is kind of a shortcut to do that. This is manage locations. Like let's say that your business has numerous locations. This is where you do that. Linked accounts. I haven't really played too much with linked accounts, but this is basically if you did more Google ads. So a linked account might be your payment, like your bank account. And that's pretty much it. So that is the back end of Google My Business. Basically, a lot of this stuff you're just going to set and forget, but don't forget too often because, like me, you may have information out of date, so go in every so often. One feature that Google also introduced, I think it was a few years ago, is the posts option. So it's not super imperative, but whenever you think about it, you can even just copy a recent Facebook post and plop it on here. And what that does is it just gives Google more information to scan. So if, like for example, if I made a post about my online class, then Google sees that. And if somebody Google searches marketing online class, then Google's more likely to send them my way. So this is how it looks. You would add your photo, the title, which basically is the caption. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. There are a few different things you can post. This is an offer. So the offer title, and then the start date and the end date. The post, which is what I thought I was on, is the what's new. So this is your caption. That's the photo. If you want a button, always add a button just to send people to your website. You can do that. And then you click publish. So this is how the listing looks on the front end. I did open a new incognito window so I could view this like I was somebody in the public and not the owner of the listing looking at this. So something good to note, if I had opened up a tab in my regular Google Chrome browser, I'd be seeing the listing from my perspective, from the owner's perspective. So to get the full picture, you'll want to open up an incognito tab and Google your business so you can see it in its entirety. So the Google My Business listing is basically this box that shows up on the right side of a desktop view. If we were on mobile or an iPad, this would show up at the very top of the screen and it would fill up the full width of the screen, so it's a little bit more in your face. And the first thing that it shows, unfortunately, is the outside of my building. So this is the tannery where I'm located. I'm on the riverside. And it also shows a map. If you do not have your address public, these 2 blocks will probably be the beautiful pictures that you added. I'm really hoping that Google changes this because I'd rather people see my pictures than where I'm located. So underneath that is your business name. There's a link to your website and directions and save. So if somebody wants to save your information for later, they can do that. And this very annoying section, this pulls your primary category that you set on the back end. I don't ever remember setting life coach as a category, so this is something that I'm going to have to reach out directly to Google to fix. Hopefully you don't run into this, but if you do, don't be afraid to reach out to Google directly. They're very friendly and they're usually pretty quick. I just haven't gotten around to it. So down here, my full address is spelled out. Again, if your address is not public, it won't show up here, so don't panic. And my phone number is right here, so people can click on it and call it. If we were on mobile, the phone number usually shows up as an actual button. And then down here are the reviews. Now, because I've had my listing for a while, Google used to have their own review platform, and they still kind of do. However, not a lot of people were using it, so they started flooding in Facebook reviews. And I do have reviews on my Facebook page, but I haven't been able to figure out how to flood them in. So once I do, I promise I will make a video on how to do that. So pretty much this is it. If I had made any posts, the posts would also show up down here. Posts do disappear after 3 days though. So unlike Facebook, they don't live on your Google My Business listing. So it's usually good if you get around to it to have a post up. So every 3 days, just make sure that you flood something in from Facebook. So you copy in your information and make a post out of it. Thank you for tuning in. For more tips on how to boost traffic to your website, check out my free guide below. For an in-depth look at marketing, check out my Online Marketing 101 course. It's an 8-week course where we cover branding, social media marketing, e-newsletter, website, publicity, and more. The course also includes access to my popular mini courses, Facebook Facelift, Instagram Insight, and Create with Canva. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next video.